After two hard-fought rounds in the South Island, Timaru and Teretonga, it was on to Christchurch and Powerbuilt Tools International Raceway for round 3 of the Castrol Power 1 2009 New Zealand Superbike Road Racing Championships. This is the Superbikes. You're on board here with Craig Sheriffs, and watch for the start from Robbie Bugden on the Suzuki in the middle of the picture. Away he goes, and Sheriffs has been left behind as the heavyweights head into turn 1 here at Ruapuna. Sheriff's making up a bit of ground under braking. Just up ahead of him, it is Andrew Stroud by the look of it, and ahead of him, Hayden Fitzgerald. Race leader, though, is the Suzuki, the Triple R Superbike team member, Robbie Bugden, the two-time New Zealand champion, the Australian. Great pictures coming down the short chute into the HPE Automotive hairpin for the first time. Sheriff's there back in about 5th spot. Out in the front, it's the two Australians, though. It is Bugden and also Gareth Jones on the Bernard Racing Yamaha. Through the carousel, they make their way now. These 1000cc Superbikes. There is Gareth Jones, and right in behind him is Robbie Bugden. So there's been a change. It was Bugden off the start, but now it is Jones in the front. Bugden shadows him, so Suzuki on Yamaha, and it's a battle of the tyre wars as well, because the Pirelli shod Yamaha of Gareth Jones up against the Triple R Superbike team Suzuki of Robbie Bugden on Dunlops. And they'll get a workout here. Sunny conditions at Powerbuilt Tools International Raceway. Well, this is a surprise. Gareth Jones starting to pull away as they make their way around the sweeper and down the long front straight. There is the brother Suzuki of Andrew Stroud. Just in front of him at the moment is Hayden Fitzgerald. On the second of the Team Hondas, that's in the Castrol colours. Here comes Stroud round the outside as they head into turn 1 once again, but it's just a bridge too far. He can't get round. Hayden Fitzgerald holds on to the spot. So this is the battle for 3rd and 4th place. Andrew Stroud, many-time Superbike champion. Hayden Fitzgerald, yet to win a national title. Certainly on the Castrol Honda. Look at Robbie Bugden starting to get a little bit closer now to Gareth Jones as we go back on board here on the Red Black Beauty, the Honda CBR 1000 Triple R of Craig Sheriffs from Fielding. Made the step up from the Suzuki to the Honda this season. And once again, just listen to the sound of the bike and look at the lean angles around the infield carousel. There he is, Craig Sheriffs. Right in behind him, Ray Clee. Great to see Ray Clee back at the top of the New Zealand Superbike scene. Brilliant pictures from the bike of Craig Sheriffs. The Honda Red Black Beauty. Red for Honda, black for New Zealand. That's how Honda want to do it this season. And he's slowly but surely reeling in the guys in front of him, and that is Hayden Fitzgerald and Andrew Stroud. Out in the front, it's the Aussies. It's the Australian show here at Powerbuilt Tools International Raceway. It is Gareth Jones on the Bernard Racing Yamaha, and there is Robbie Bugden shadowing him down the long front straight here and passing him as they head past the spectator grandstands and into turn 1. You're back on board here with Craig Sheriffs. He's just come out past the Motorsport Solutions workshop. Now hard on the brakes and into 1. Here is the new race leader, Robbie Bugden. Well, some problems here, and this is bike number 8. This is Warren Hudson. Got some mechanical issues. There's the battle for 3rd and 4th, and Craig Sheriff's getting a little bit closer now to Andrew Stroud. Well, Andrew Stroud won't be happy with 4th by his very high standards. That's not where he wanted to be. Well, highlights here of round 3 for the Castrol Power 1 New Zealand Superbike Road Racing Championship, and you can see that Andrew Stroud is now where he wants to be. He's right on the tail of Robbie Bugden. So it's Suzuki on Suzuki. It's the Triple R Superbike team member, Robbie Bugden in the front, the brother Suzuki of Andrew Stroud in 2nd place, and getting closer as they work their way out towards Pothole now. This is a testing circuit for anybody, but it's certainly a test for the Superbikes. And look at this, Stroud getting closer and gets a better line as they run out of Pothole, heading up to the hairpin. He'll try for the outside-inside cut, and he's going to go right round the outside of Bugden. Bugden's going to hold him out, though, as they head down into the infield, and that means Gareth Jones gets a little bit closer as well. Race number 1 for the Superbikes here at Powerbuilt Tools International Raceway, and it's on at the front. It's Suzuki on Suzuki. Gareth Jones has gone back into 3rd. Then it's Hayden Fitzgerald, and then it's Craig Sheriff battling out for Honda honours for the minor placings. But we watch the racing at the front. There is Andrew Stroud. Well, a long-time resident in Christchurch. He knows this track like the back of his hand. Robbie Bugden, of course, has been round here a few times as well, and already they're into the lap traffic here. And Stroud zips up the inside as they work their way out of the Nissan turn, and Stroud's got 1 foot on the ground. Can you believe it? How did he save that? Probably the fact that he's the gangly guy, over 6'4", and he just got his foot down before the bike left him, and it's meant that Gareth Jones has got a lot closer now. Enthralling stuff. Well, we've seen it in the first 2 rounds of the Castrol Power 1 Superbike Championships, and we've got it here again, and the lap riders are going to play a part as well. Bugden, Stroud, Jones is right there. Checkered flag comes out. Bugden doesn't know. He thinks he's got it, but he's not 100% sure. The judges assure him he has got it. Andrew Stroud is second and Gareth Jones is third, and look at the margins.
The tyre started going off a little bit mid-race, and I seen Stroudy coming, and it put me under huge amounts of pressure, and I was trying to push and trying to just limit my mistakes. Then by the last lap, I knew he was there, and I knew he was going to have a go at us. It's one thing you can always count on. I've raced with Stroudy long enough now to know that if there's a shot there for him to have a go, he'll have a go.
Made a pass on Robbie, but then going into the next corner, I was trying to hold it tight coming out so it didn't come back underneath me, and the front just tucked under, and I kind of fell off the side of the bike, and my foot came off the foot peg, and I was dragging along behind it, and I was going down really, and I just cracked the throttle on and powered it on. It was enough to pull the front back up and to stay on it. So that was fortunate.
Final round of the Superbikes here in Christchurch is the prestigious New Zealand Grand Prix. Will we see a Kiwi winner, or will it be an Australian? It's a fantastic start from Andrew Stroud, right from the centre of the grid, so it looks like he might lead them into one. He does so. Gareth Jones goes with him. Bugden is there as well. Another good start from Ray Clee out of Kumu. Let's have a look as they sort themselves out through Castrol and head down towards Pothole People and up towards the hairpin now. Stroud in the front, the Brother Suzuki documentary channel supported Suzuki 1000. Right in behind him on the R1, the Bernard Racing Pirelli Shod number G, Gareth Jones from Queensland, and another Queenslander in third, and that is Robbie Bugden. Not the best of starts this time for Hayden Fitzgerald, so he's got a bit of work to do, as well as Craig Sheriff. But once again, the Honda riders get together as we watch the front of the field. Andrew Stroud, well, he tested the infamous Britain around here many, many moons ago. As I said, he was a resident of Christchurch for quite some time, so he knows this track. He has a quick look behind just to see who is behind him. Well, we can tell him it's Gareth Jones, and the young charger from Queensland spent the off-season racing in the support program for World Superbikes, is right on his tail on the Bernard Racing Yamaha. Robbie Bugden just gapped a little bit here, but this race is appreciably longer than the heat races. This is for the prestigious title of the New Zealand Grand Prix. And once again, Stroud has a look behind, so maybe he's a worried man here. Andrew Stroud leads it. Jones closing in. Bugden in third. And while these two are battling, it means Robbie Bugden will come back to them. They come through the sweeper and down the long front straight. Who's got the horsepower? Is it the Suzuki or is it the Yamaha? Gareth Jones caught in the Suzuki sandwich at the moment, and diving down the inside of him comes Robbie Bugden. Heading into one. Bugden moves into second place now. So once again, we've got a tyre war. Pirelli on Dunlop. Both Stroud and Jones on Pirelli tyres. Bugden on Dunlops. There'd be absolutely nothing in it in the horsepower stakes between the two Suzukis, but the Yamaha, well, someone said to us at both Teretonga and Timaru, it looked like Gareth Jones might have had the edge on the horsepower. We'll have a look here. Through the hairpin they go, down into the infield now, heading for the Southern Salvage turns. 2, Stroud leads it. 1, Bugden, the defending champion, is there. Ray Clee and Craig Sheriff's having a good battle. Just in front of them, it is Hayden Fitzgerald. So good to see Ray Clee back after lengthy problems with an arm injury. Oh, and look at Gareth Jones up the inside of Bugden. Well, talk about picking his pocket. Gareth Jones is here to win it, make no mistake about it. He's riding 2 classes at each round of the Castrol Power 1 New Zealand Superbike Road Racing Championship. He's been a class act in the 600s, and you can see in the Superbikes, he's exactly the same. He's stalking Andrew Stroud. Gareth Jones out of Queensland. Came here last season and rode for the Brian Bernard team and was a sensation. He's back. He's the sole member of the team this year. But he is living up to his reputation. trying to chase down the multiple champion of New Zealand. Through pothole they go. The bikes get a little bit unsettled. Now up to the HP Automotive hairpin. Down through the gearbox. Hard on the brakes. Andrew Stroud on the brother Suzuki leads it. Bugden gets a little bit closer to Jones now. So there's nothing in it for the first three. You can throw a decent-sized blanket over them. Into the dipper they go. Remember, they're using the 3.4 kilometre layout here at Powerbolt Tools International Raceway. The bike's always using the dipper. And it's down the short chute and into the big sweeper. And Gareth Jones gets a little bit closer to Stroud now. Oh, and a bit of a head shake as they come out. And he's got the front, diving down the inside of Andrew Stroud. And Gareth Jones hits the lead. This is the New Zealand Grand Prix. It's part of the prestigious silverware that makes up the various meetings here in the Castrol Power One New Zealand Superbike Championships. We'll go to Pukekohe for the fifth and final round. There, the New Zealand Tourist Trophy will be up for grabs, but here it is the New Zealand Grand Prix. There is Kumu's Rakely. Right in behind him, it is Craig Shirreffs from Fielding. Suzuki on Honda. Been a steep learning curve for Craig Shirreffs. He's made the move from Suzuki to Honda this year. He's also made the move from Dunlop to Pirelli tyres. Gareth Jones already caught up in the lap traffic and just about on the grass as he heads down the long front straight. I think that was Sloan Frost they just lapped on the LG Electronics sponsored machine. Stroud goes with him. Bugden gets caught up for a little while. Now he's back into flying formation again. Out of one they come along the Castrol Straight and into pothole people they go now. Big wheelie from Andrew Stroud. These bikes so potent. Got to roll on the throttle. You can't snap it on, especially out of corners like this. You may remember a couple of seasons ago, that was the corner that Sam Smith had his huge accident in his year at Superbikes, and Bugden's gone down. Well, we put the commentator's kiss of death on the field here in the Superbikes, talking about Sam Smith, and the points leader goes down. The two-time New Zealand champion, Robbie Bugden, lays it down. He's okay. He'll be back on the bike, but he's thrown away a certain victory in the New Zealand Grand Prix. And he's just taken the pressure off the two in front of him, and that is Gareth Jones and Andrew Stroud. Jones just starting to eke out a bit of a lead through the Southern Salvage turn and up into Cochrane Nissan now. And have a look at the way these guys are leaning these bikes. There is Robbie Bugden. Now he'll just make sure that the bike's good enough to ride fast again before he gets up to full speed. But he knows that a championship is at stake, and he has to finish to get the points. He's the points leader going in here. He's on 95 points. Second place on 76 is Andrew Stroud, and in third it is Gareth Jones on 70. But now it's Gareth Jones. His time to shine here at Powerbolt Tools International Raceway. 295, nearly 300 kilometres now into turn one. These lethal production-based superbikes. Through pothole they come. Andrew Stroud just gets a little bit closer now. This is where he put the move on Bugden in the previous race. Not close enough to Gareth Jones to do it here, though. Into the carousel they come. Gareth Jones it is out in the front. The R1, the 1000cc Yamaha. For his first national title ever this season's never won one in Australia, never won one in New Zealand. Got close last year. Can he do it this time round? He's a standout on the 600s, but these are the superbikes, and he's up against a very experienced Andrew Stroud. You can see Stroud just starting to run him down here, but he's going to run out of laps because we're getting down to the business end here of the New Zealand Grand Prix, Powerbolt Tools International Raceway, and it's the Australian leading the Kiwi. In and out of the dipper they go. Yamaha on Suzuki. In third place it is Hayden Fitzgerald on the Honda, but it's all about these two. Andrew Stroud gets a whole lot closer, but I think he's going to run out of time. Round the sweeper they go for the last time. Checkered flag will fly this time. Will it be the Australian? Gareth Jones has got the nose in front. Here comes the big charge from Andrew Stroud. Too little too late, and Gareth Jones gets the win. He wins the New Zealand Grand Prix here at Powerbolt Tools International Raceway. In second place it is Andrew Stroud, and in third place it is Hayden Fitzgerald. Fourth place is Craig Shirreffs on a Honda.
That was hard work, I tell you, and Straddy was pushing me the whole way. We changed a few things for that race, and we certainly got a little bit more tyre life out of it, and I'm pretty sure Straddy would agree that the pace was fairly slow at the start, but it picked up towards the end, so that's when I thought, right, best to make a move now.
The white flag came out, and I said, oh no, I've done it again. It's just too much of a gap. But I got right up alongside him across the finish line. I really dug deep on that last lap, but just not quite.
Gareth jumped the lead and started putting down some good times. And, I just got caught up behind Trouty there, and I started getting a little bit frustrated. Unfortunately, grabbed a little bit too much front brake. I got no one to blame but myself, and I'll just take that on the chin. And you know, we'll just look forward, go to Manfield, and see if we can get back on the top step of the podium.
Well, after 3 rounds, it is Robbie Bugden, the defending champion, on top on 131 points. Andrew Stroud on 116, and Gareth Jones right there on 111. Manfield's the next stop. Will it all change?